We're definitely gonna use that. Definitely gonna use that. We're gonna I'm gonna mute everybody real quick because we're about to get this thing started. And you all don't take it offensive. Well, I'm ahead, Josh. That's my brother right there. What's going on, J.O.? All right. J.O., you're gonna have to actually get a chance to meet family. You're gonna have to get a chance to meet family. And man, it's crazy, right? First of all, number one, thank you for everybody being here. We're starting right on time. I did hit record, so I'm Gucci with that, even though we're boycotting that. We are good to go. And so it's crazy. I was at a Max event. I think it was his last meetup. I think it was maybe. In Winston-Salem. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna have some people come up and speak. So I come up there and then I'm standing next to these two who I'm about to introduce. And when we talk and they say my name, I get a little tap. I'm like, yo, what's your last name again? And I said, Holt. And they said, oh, my last name was Holt. And then come to find out that we're family. We're both in wholesaling. Crystal, now Polite, married Diedrich, and man, that's all family right there all day. And man, they are killing it. They are a power couple, bro. Like, guys, matter of fact, girls, close your ears. Guys, you need to find one like this. All right, you need to find one like this. All right. They are hustling. Just going out there killing it. They're tearing it up. They're doing a lot of virtual stuff. So I don't do the virtual wholesaling thing. I'm still trying to learn that game. So listen, I'm taking notes. I highly, highly suggest that you take notes. Put the dogs away. Put the kids outside. Who cares? They'll fend for themselves. Make sure you guys are taking notes because we're getting ready to get this thing cracking. So without further ado, I want to open it up to Mr. Diedrich and Crystal Polite. What is up?
What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Cousin
man?
Tommy. What's good?
Yeah, man. I'm happy about this.
I can't wait to meet you too.
Yeah. He's my little bigger brother. He's like the younger steroid version. But yeah, cool. And I want to let everybody know, number one, that we have to be very conscious of their time. They're super busy. So we're going to have a hard stop at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to start, asking a couple questions, but I'm going to let them flow with it. And we just want to start on how you guys got started in wholesaling and what it led you up to where you're at right now.
Cool. So I'm Diedrich Polite. This is my wife, Crystal, Tommy's cousin. Again, we found out we were family probably about 6 months ago. Yeah. Both wholesaling, both crushing it. But yeah, we've been in real estate for a couple years now. Really full-time is when my wife, Crystal, went full-time, which was June of 2018. I'm full-time in the business. I also still have a full-time job. So I can relate to a lot of the guys out there who still have a W-2, still have a job, and they're side hustling, night hustling, and wholesaling, trying to fire their boss. I keep a job just because it pays well. I get to work from home, from my home office, which I'm sitting in right now, and make over 6 figures comfortably. But my goal is to, within a year or two, to fire the boss and be full-time in the business. But we're excited. I'll let my wife introduce and kind of talk a little bit about how you got into it.
How we got into it. So, hi, everyone. We're definitely honored to be here. Tommy knows when he calls anything for him. So how do we get started in wholesaling? We actually got started, my husband actually got fired from a job. His very first time ever getting fired. Totally distraught.
Yeah.
I was stressed.
Corporate America, 2012, he had gotten fired, totally distraught, came back, and we were actually dating at the time, came to me, and he was just like crushed. And I told him, I said, listen, your identity is wrapped in, and your whole being is wrapped in this job. So I had to explain to him that you didn't lose a job. That job lost you. And I had to explain to him how what he brought to that job, he could bring anywhere. His talents, his skills, his education can be applied anywhere. I said, now that you have the time now that you have a vacation, I said, find your passion, find what you love to do, what you could do every single day, all day with no hesitation. I said, you do that and I will hold us down financially. So he had an apartment, I had an apartment. He started online.
That's when I knew she was a keeper. Yep. It was well before that, but that sealed the deal.
And he had said, he went online, started searching a bunch of different things. So then he contacted me and he said, hey, call me. He was like, we can make some money using your apartment. And I said, really? How? And he was like, you ever heard of this thing called Airbnb?
Yeah.
And I said, no. And this is in 2012. Before it really blew up. And I said, no. He was like, yeah, well, we rent it out to people short term. We can get paid some serious money. Now, at the time, my brother was there, who's a squatter. So he was actually staying there. So I said, he was like, oh, but never mind, because your brother's staying there. I said, no, he was staying there. Give me a second. Call my brother. I said, listen, you got 2 weeks to get out. Oh, well.
30 days.
Listen, nope. I said, you got 2 weeks. And he's like, oh, well, I'll pay you rent. Listen, if you were going to pay me rent, you'd have been paying me rent. Don't worry about it now. 2 weeks. He left 2 weeks. We furnished. Mistake number one, we went to Rent-A-Center and furnished the whole apartment. Refurnished the whole apartment.
Yep. Mistake
number one, our first tenant was someone coming from Brazil who stayed a month. And then we was like, we have something here.
Nice.
Long story short, we went from, in 5 months, we had made $20,000 doing Airbnb.
Nice.
That's when we really hit that whole real estate bug. Right then, we ended up getting pregnant with our first child, moved.
Good job. Hey, that was a good business move, brother. That was a good business move right there.
It was, and never heard of it before. And just like that, $20,000 within 4 to 5 months. We were actually living in Boston at the time. So if you're not familiar with Boston's market, that's actually where we're from. It's like a market in New York and Charlotte. Very competitive market. So we ended up moving to North Carolina, best thing we could have ever done, because it allowed us to slow down to speed up. And it allowed us, in Boston, you're on go, 9,000 all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Rat race.
It's a total rat race. I was working 3 jobs, literally 3 almost full-time jobs.
100 hours a week.
And I was single with no kids. So that should tell you. Yeah. No kids, single. And I didn't realize that was not living my best life until we actually moved to a little small town where I'm actually originally from, which is where Tommy and our family is actually originally from, Mebane, North Carolina, until we moved back and was able to slow down, be able to process stuff. My husband got online. He found, what was his name?
That's it.
Nazir.
Real estate guru out of Charlotte. This is like 2014.
Yep, Nazir.
Yeah. Found him. That's when I first heard about wholesaling and was intrigued by it. I didn't know how it was possible. I was like, man, how are you selling a house that you don't own? What type of scam stuff is that? Yeah. And I was like, I tend to overanalyze stuff, so I analyzed it to death, and I didn't do anything with it. I was just like, that's cool. This dude's flipping houses he don't own, but I don't know if that's really legal. And I kept telling my wife about it, and after a while, she was just like, man, stop talking about this stuff, and you need to do something with it. So she's the one who kind of pushed us off the ledge. Like, let's stop talking about being in business and being entrepreneurs and doing stuff, and let's just do it. And that's when we started diving in really full force in the last 2 years or so.
So I know from that point, you guys, it wasn't just all smooth sailing, right? But because a lot of times people see where you're at and they just see the end result, right? But how did you? Because this is really, I'm about to be a little selfish here. How did you guys figure out this virtual wholesaling thing? How did you guys do that?
Well, like I said, we're from Boston. So I told my husband, I said, listen, he was like, oh, we went to a mastermind that we're a part of. and we were really struggling with where to begin. Like, should we begin where we live? We were there, and I kept telling him, I said, listen, he said, start in our backyard. I said, Boston is our backyard. We both lived there since we were like 7 and 8 years old. That is our backyard. We know that state in and out. So he was like, oh, well, you know, everyone says start in, you know, your backyard. I said, well, listen, that's our backyard. So we got some advice from the mastermind. Everyone was like, he said, you know, we're torn on what to do. And my husband, everyone said start in your backyard. So everyone was against me. So I told him the only logical thing to do, I said, great, we're starting with Boston.
That's what she said. So we're in North Carolina, and she wanted to start 1,000 miles away in a virtual market wholesaling. So it was counterintuitive, but we actually, you know, because again, our whole network, we know so many people there. We both lived there 20, 30 years of our life was in Boston. So we had that going for us. We had boots on the ground. So we actually started, you know, in Boston from North Carolina. We've closed several virtual wholesale deals, including a 6-figure wholesale deal virtually from North Carolina and Boston.
So, because we have some people here that are brand new, right? So, in like layman's terms and like breaking it down, because I'm not the smartest person out here, right? So, like 5th grade terminology, what is virtual wholesaling? Walk me through that process.
So, virtual wholesaling is the same thing as wholesaling wherever you live at right now. Is getting a property under contract, meaning signing a purchase and sale agreement with the seller for a certain price, and then assigning your rights to that contract to another buyer. That's wholesaling. Doing that virtually is actually using technology. We're all on computers. Everybody's on their smartphone and computer right now. So y'all know how to use technology. It's using technology to do this without ever going to see the property in person, without meeting the seller face to face.
So who's seeing that property for you? Like when you're in North Carolina, and then you find a property. First of all, where are you finding them at virtually? Since you're not there, like obviously you're not driving for dollars there. So where are you finding them, and then who's actually seeing those properties for you? So you kind of have an idea of what you're.
Good question. You want to talk about how we find it? I'll talk about.
So how we find them is I market in that area. So the same way you are marketing your backyard, do that same marketing virtually. So I'm doing postcards. I'm doing mailers.
Deal Machine.
Deal Machine is basically, we kind of hacked Deal Machine, so we were able to actually do it virtually.
You want to tell them what Deal Machine is?
So Deal Machine is an app, if you guys aren't familiar with it. It's an app where you can drive for dollars, pull up to a house, take a picture of it, input it into the app, and it sends it a postcard.
With the picture.
With the picture in it.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research on it, started to figure out ways that it can literally take our virtual business next level. And that is literally how we've closed a majority of all of our deals in Boston, is either we're going to mail to these properties or we're going to cold call to these properties. But I'm marketing the same exact way I'm marketing for our own backyard.
So do you guys use any like Facebook marketing or anything like that, or is it all postcards?
We haven't done Facebook marketing yet. I'm going to get with you, Tommy, on that. But the other question you had was, once we find a property, we get a lead. We're 1,000 miles away. So how are we going to see the property? How are we getting pictures? All that stuff. So we have boots on the ground. So we know other investors who are in Boston. So I know guys who buy houses, they flip houses, they're real estate agents, they're investors. So we'll call up someone we trust, and we'll say, hey, listen, we got a lead. We need you to go take pictures of the property. We need you to take video of the property. If it closes, we'll give you 10%. So that incentivizes that person. Hey, they're not going there for free. We close the deal and we make 10 grand, they're getting 1,000.
Nice.
We make 100 grand, they're making 10 grand. We cut somebody a check for 10 grand for a 6-figure deal. We closed.
Literally all he did was go to the property and take a picture. Never spoke to the seller.
Well, I would have drove up. I would have drove up from here.
He never contacted anyone, never spoke to anyone.
Yeah, he didn't really earn that 10 grand, but we promised him 10%, and we're people of our word, so we gave him 10% for being.
That's so important, man. We talk about that in the course. Is that people will recognize, they'll weed themselves out. The people that are always trying to get over on people, genuine people. There's people that bring me deals all the time. I mean, I could just, because they don't have it under contract or whatever, right? But you get put out of the business real quick. You'll be out of business real quick. So having that is dope. That's for sure. So you're doing the deal machine. Deal machine is something that a lot of people know. Give us a quick little picture of how many postcards you're sending out. Because here's the misconception I find is that, I'm just going to send out this one postcard, and then I'm going to have this deal coming in. Like, how many postcards? So one house, how many times are you typically mailing it?
So with Deal Machine, I've seen through our responses that it is typically, we have all of ours on 12 mailers. But
every what? How many days?
We do it once every 30 days.
Once a month.
Red zones, which is what we call real hot markets, houses that we really want to get a hold of, we'll put it on a mailer of every 21 days. We'll market to them. We'll also try and skip trace and find the owner of the property.
Do you use the Deal Machine skip tracing, or do you use a different service?
Both. So if I'm in front of a house that I want right then, I'll use the enhanced feature. Now, I've used it 10 times on Deal Machine, and out of the 10 times, 9 times I've actually gotten their phone number. One time I got a sibling of the owner.
Wow.
So I've actually had a really good hit rate with their phone numbers. But like I said, I've only did it about 10 times.
I'm talking about the volume.
The volume that we're actually sending. Now, before we got our very first deal from Deal Machine, we had about 150 to 200 mailers going. But it also, with Deal Machine, it also depends on what properties you're uploading. Will also depend on how quickly you may get a phone call back. What works really, really great. Huh?
What do you mean by that? What type?
If you are driving for dollars and you are uploading vacant properties mostly, you're more likely to get a quicker phone call, a quicker response because it's vacant.
Gotcha.
We upload more than vacant properties, though. We upload vacant, rundown. If it's an absentee, it's getting mailed to.
How do you know if it's absentee?
The absentee, it shows you actually in the app who owns the property, their address, their mailing address, the owner's address, and then it also gives you subject information on the app. But it'll tell you right there if it's absentee or not. So it is literally, I think, 90% of our deals that we have closed to date has come from Deal Machine.
Wow.
And just to add to that, Tommy, it's all about volume. You cannot upload 5, 10, 20 properties and have 20 mailers going out and expect to get enough phone calls to get a deal. It's volume. So
what does your volume look like? What are you guys looking at?
Our volume right now, we're sending out about 2,500 postcards per month. We've been using Deal Machine since June of last year. Now, we've ramped up to that point. It's not just us. We didn't go out and find 2,500 properties and upload on Deal Machine. We probably uploaded 200 personally ourselves, but we have deal finders. So there's a way to add deal finders, another word for bird dogs. That's people that go out and find properties for you and submit them to you, saying, hey, this might be a deal, check it out. So deal finders across the country that we've recruited, mostly through social media, are the ones who are submitting the majority of our properties. Same thing, if someone in Cleveland submits a deal through the app using our promo code, we approve it, say this looks like a deal, we're gonna start sending them postcards, we're paying for the postcards. Our deal with them is that if we close the deal on a wholesale deal, we'll give them 10% just for bringing it to us. They don't have to do anything, we'll do all the work, we'll give them 10%. So that's why we have a team of, I don't know, a few dozen deal finders that actually submit deals to get us our volume as far as postcards going out.
And they also get a weekly stipend.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We also
pay them every 2 weeks for every approved deal that we get. So in hot zones, red zones,
Atlanta, Boston, New York.
Right, we'll give $2 a lead per approved lead. And for just ones that are in regular markets, even like our North Carolina markets, you get $1 a lead. We have a couple of deal finders who every 2 weeks is getting about $200 from us.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So that keeps them going in between the deal. Because, you know, deals could take 30 days. It could take 3 months, could take 6 months. So then that couple bucks per approved deal pays for gas. It keeps them going, submitting more deals into your pipeline.
Every other week we'll pop up and we'll give a raffle, or we'll pay for lunch for everybody, and we'll cash up everybody money for lunch just to keep them going. So, I mean, we actually have an entire system built. We have a deal finder, a deal machine manager who manages our entire deal machine operation.
Wow.
So we
This
try
is all run by her. She's the VP of lead generation. So her job is to generate the leads. My job is to close the deal.
Wow. So did I lose you guys? Okay, no, we're good. All right. So this obviously is like a well-oiled machine right now. Take me back to because everybody here is kind of starting. So take me back to how you got to getting to 2,500 leads out, like the beginning portion where you said, all right, deal machine, this is our vehicle. This is how we're going to virtually wholesale. Take me back to that moment so we can give some actual steps that they can start taking today.
Okay.
Yeah, so before that, I didn't even want to use it because she had told me about the app and I was like, I kind of poo-pooed it. And she went and started using it anyway.
Yeah. He said no. That's actually what he said. He was like, no, we ain't gonna waste money on that. I said, okay, great, we're doing it. So that's literally how the conversation
right, so I'm
went.
glad she did it.
And I downloaded it and I started using it myself. And what I did was, unbeknownst to him, I pulled a list, and this is another little deal machine hack. We'll be actually giving away a lot of these in a new ebook and stuff that we're actually coming out with.
I like it.
One of the hacks that I did was I pulled a list. It was a really filtered down list in Boston. And it was 69 properties on this list. I then took every single property and uploaded it into Deal Machine. From me uploading it into Deal Machine, you're like, oh, well, what about the picture? Google Maps.
Gotcha.
So she didn't have to go to Boston to upload 69 properties. That was the hack. She was doing this from North Carolina.
Yes, I literally took snapshots, cropped them, put them right up alongside every single property that I uploaded, and I sent them off.
Nice. We
got a ton of callbacks from that list. He had no idea how that had happened. And he was like, oh yeah, this
where'd this lead come from?
He was like, oh, this cold calling or something is working. And I was like, no, those are Deal Machine leads.
Oh, we were doing cold call. I'm like, yeah, this cold call is going great. She was like, no, that's Deal Machine. I'm like, what's Deal Machine? And she was like, remember that app you told me we shouldn't use?
Stay in your lane, brother. Stay in your lane.
Right. And that's literally how we started.
And that was June of last year.
Yep.
Yeah, May, June.
How we started virtually doing it. And from there, I just started to build layers on top of how to get more leads in, to do it more efficiently and quicker and faster. One of the things that we'll actually be coming out with is something that actually no one knows yet. We actually just started putting it together with our team. Is how we uploaded about 400 properties into Deal Machine in 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That's the super secret sauce right there.
And how we went driving for dollars and got 1,183 properties in 45 minutes.
Ooh, yeah, I need to know that one. Let me know when that book come out so we can push that.
Yep, just strictly driving for dollars. Like I said, we do other things. So we do cold calling.
And again, we don't cold call. We outsource it because again, we don't have time to be getting hung up on. I've been in sales all my career, and I hate cold calling. Just to be honest.
Start with it because I hated it too. But I remember watching a video of Max Maxwell, and I kept telling him, I said, we need a VA, we need a VA. And then the very next day, I saw a video of him saying, don't hire a VA to do something you don't want to do. Yeah. And I was like, dang.
Yeah, he's talking right to you.
And I'm afraid of sales. Like, I'm afraid of the word no. if we get in front of someone and he's like, hey, I want $80,000 for the house, I'm like, just give it to him.
No, we need it for 40.
And I'm like, oh my God, really? You got to go down that low? That's me. So I stay in my lane.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yep. I don't do any negotiating. I handle straight lead gen and marketing and things of that nature. But that's how we've been able to get to where we're at.
That's awesome. So you guys are really like coming together, working off, playing off each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely.
Coming as a team. How are you finding these? So I know you got a handle in Boston because that's where you're from. But let's say you wanted to do something in Cleveland. Like, how are you finding buyers out in Cleveland that you can trust with your properties?
So, kind of the same thing. I actually ended up using Deal Machine for more than just sending out postcards. I actually sent, so, you know, when you go on a Deal Machine, you're going to see a lot of LLCs pop up, right? If any of you all have Deal Machine, you'll see a lot of LLCs pop up.
As the owners.
As the owners. You'll see a lot of people who just purchased that property like last year. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I reverse engineered it, and all of those LLCs I mailed to them with a cash buyer template. So it wasn't, can we buy your house? It was a template that said, is one of our templates to say, are you looking to purchase more properties? Something like that. So it's literally a cash buyer template. Right. On that postcard, it has our cash buyer website. They come in, they punch in their information, they fill out their entire criteria. Then we have someone on our team call them back and qualify them, speak to them. Hey, how many properties have you bought? One of the most important questions on our list is, if we bring you a deal that makes sense to you and that you can make money on, if we make a $20,000 or more assignment fee, do you care?
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Yep.
If you don't fill it out, we're gonna take it as a yes, and we don't deal with you. Yeah. If you say no, absolutely not, then we'll give you a call back.
That's so important, man. Like I tell people all the time, you've got to qualify your buyers. Yep. You're just gonna be, beating your head up against the wall.
You do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, I know we're right about that 7:30 time, and I know this. If I have questions, I know everybody on this call has questions. So I want to kind of open it up and see if anybody here has any questions for you. Let me see if we can go back to this gallery view. So, does anybody here have any questions on what they do, how they do, anything they spoke about, anything? Let me open up this chat here. I got something in the chat. They said, "What do you say to motivated sellers who say, well, have you actually seen the property?" What is your response to that?
When a motivated seller asks, "Have we seen the property?"
Yeah, so you got a motivated seller, which I kind of know where you're going to go with this answer, but when you have a motivated seller, right? He's saying, "What do you say? Well, have you seen the property yet?" That type of a person.
I've seen every property. If it's in my backyard, yeah, I drove by it yesterday, sir. If it's 1,000 miles away, yeah, I saw it.
My partner.
You can Google it and you'll see every property.
Absolutely.
Google Maps. I can see how it looks, 360 view. Yep.
Or you just say, hey, my partner actually drove by and seen it and contacted me about it.
Yeah. And also the other thing is that most of the time, if they're motivated, they really don't care.
They don't care. Yep.
If they're really truly motivated, they don't care if you've seen the property. It is one of them. When can I get that check?
They want their money.
Let me see. How can we get the scoop on the Deal Machine secret sauce? And updates when it's released. When's that going to be released? What's the projected time for that to be released?
It's actually, it'll be released before, when's the conference again?
The 22nd and through the 24th.
So it'll be before that. We're actually putting the final touches and stuff like that.
I don't know how to ask a question.
So we don't have an actual release date, but we know it'll definitely be the week prior to the conference. So if you follow us on any of our social media accounts, you'll definitely see the moment we drop it.
Okay. I got another one I'm gonna read out, and then I see someone has their hand up. It said, hold on, it's moving now. Where do I find the option to create a list and the filters on Deal Machine?
How do you create? Say that again.
A list.
I think the list that you were talking about, you uploaded. I think that's what they're asking.
Okay, so you actually have to do it one by one. So I did my first one, and now I have a VA who I pay $4 an hour.
Gotcha.
To do it. Like tomorrow, she's actually uploading another one of our lists. How our system goes is we do ringless voicemail first. From ringless voicemail, we do text messaging. From text messaging, we hit them with a postcard. So whoever we don't get a response from, we send a postcard out. And the reason why I say you may say, oh my God, all three? Yes, because the people that we can't get in contact with through calling or texting, for some reason, they give us a call back and they be like, hey, you were by my house? You took a picture of my house? That's how we typically get them to call back. So we do all three. She's actually uploading the list tomorrow, about 300.
Yeah, every investor should be using Deal Machine. It is a game-changing app.
Got you. Let me go to someone who actually had their hand up here. I don't know your name because it just says iPhone here, so I'm gonna lower your hand, hopefully, and unmute you. Hopefully, we're okay there.
Excuse me.
I can't unmute you for some reason now. Whoever is there I'm looking at the ceiling with the ceiling fan. There we go. All right, you're unmuted there.
All right. What's the first steps after when you drop for dollars? What's the first step to actually skip tracing the location or accurate owner's address?
Good question. You want me to
So,
you want to
oh, you can go ahead.
Okay.
So the first step, you said after entering in a location?
And I have to find properties, but it's I'm a newbie, so it's kind of tough to skip trace and find the owner's accurate owner.
Okay, so what you're doing is once you drive for dollars, you get in front of that house, you confirm that that's the actual address that's pulling up in Deal Machine. You upload it. If it's a house, now I don't suggest skip tracing every single property you upload into Deal Machine, especially if you're trying to do volume and you're trying to do it quickly. I only hit enhanced search, and that's the button that you're going to want to hit in Deal Machine. It's called enhanced search, and that's their skip tracing tool. Good thing about it is if they don't find a number or any information, you don't get charged. It is a 99-cent extra fee to skip trace.
So it's $1 per postcard you send, and then $1 per skip trace.
Right. So if it's not a house that you have to put up there or you have to get in contact, what we call a red zone, just send them a mailer. If it is, hit enhanced search. It'll come up with any phone numbers that's associated with that owner, email addresses, any other addresses that they may have. If it's a beach house that's attached to their name, it'll come up with that address as well. So you can choose to mail to multiple properties for the owner, or you can call them, email them, which we've done all of the above.
Got you. Here's a good question. Jonathan has a question. It says, how do you determine the repair cost of a property if you found it virtually?
So again, we'll have our boots on the ground, go see the property, take pictures. I want 50, 100 pictures from my person who's in that state. They're meeting with the seller. So when I'm on the phone with the seller, hey, my partner, John, is going to be meeting you at the property tomorrow. He's going to walk through it. Once he walks through it and sees what the repair costs are going to be, I'm going to be able to make you an offer. So your boots on the ground needs to be able to walk through, get pictures. Once I see the pictures, I've walked through almost 1,000 houses over the past few years. So I know in my head the repair costs. You guys being newbies, you may not know it yet, but you want to start getting a ballpark. So I would say to start learning what repairs cost, ask a contractor to come out on your appointments with you, saying, hey, I'm looking at buying a house. I'm going to have to rehab it, so I need an estimate from you on how much the repair is going to cost.
And if you're doing it virtually, you need to have a contract anyway. You need to have someone who can basically do acquisitions, which is someone, if they can just get to the property, get some pictures for you, establish some rapport with the owner. If you know a realtor that you're good friends with, a lot of people have realtors in their family. So our acquisitions manager in Boston is a good friend of Dedrick's, but he's also a broker in Boston. He goes to all of our houses. He knows the market inside out. When we need a repair cost, we have a contractor who goes out there. So get some references from people. We do everything on referral. Referrals is everything in this business to us, because the wrong contractor can make or break you.
That's true.
What you're trying to do. So we try to get a referral from everyone. And doing it virtually, you literally need boots on the ground. So if you have a cousin, an uncle, an aunt, someone who's really good with talking with people, things of that nature, who can establish some rapport, take some good pictures for you, boom, you got an acquisitions manager.
Money. So someone else, I'm just trying to go through these. They're starting to put them in the chat box here. Starting out, how many mailers at least do you suggest?
150.
About what?
150 to 200 you need going out.
150 to 200 at least every month?
Yep.
Okay. 150 to 200 every month. There you go.
You got to remember, direct mail is a volume game. Deal Machine is just an easy way to drive for dollars and send direct mail. You're still sending a postcard. It's going to send automatically. It's volume. The more you send out, the more phone calls are going to come back in. The more calls you get, the more appointments you'll go on. The more appointments you go on, the more contracts you can get locked up, and the more deals you can close.
Wow. And keep in mind, you guys are doing not just mailers, you're doing, the phone calls, the RVM, then you got the text messages.
And
cold calling.
And bandit signs. We're doing that.
So it's all the way around.
Use something until you know it don't make sense. So if you say, I'm not really getting a return on this, do away with it. Because that's how I handle our marketing. If I don't start to see a return within a certain period of time, I stop it.
Got you.
And let me add one thing. I know a lot of people are new, and you may not have a lot of money to do marketing, or you may have money and you may be like, I don't want to spend this money because I don't know if it's going to work. I was in the same shoes here. I was like, we got some money. We have some credit, right? Credit cards, personal business credit. We can put this marketing stuff on. But if I spend this $1,000, I need to know that it's going to come back, right? Yeah. That was one of my concerns, and I bet a lot of new people that's a concern. What I'm here to say is you got to take that plunge. If you're in this business, you're serious about it, this is a marketing business. Real estate, especially wholesaling, it's all about marketing. If that phone's not ringing, you're not getting any deals. So you have to spend money to make it. Absolutely. Well, my question to you is, if you can spend $1,000 and you get a deal and you make 5, 8, 10 grand, that $1,000 investment just came back 10x. So it's worth spending $1,000 if you know every time you spend $1,000, it's going to bring back 10. So just have that confidence. If you invest in the right marketing and you do it consistently, don't just do it for a couple weeks. Do it for 2, 3, 4 months before you give up on it. 5, 6 months. If you do that consistently and keep working, you're going to close deals.
Man, you sounding a lot like me right now, man. I'm glad you're saying it. Charmaine said, how do you find cash buyers and weed them out when you first meet them? I get the questionnaire, but in person. You're pretty much going to do the exact same thing. You're going to do whether or not it's over the phone or in person, or through the questionnaire. You got to weed them out. You got to let them know that, hey, I'm not doing this for charity. I'm making money on this thing.
Right.
Do you mind making, first of all, this is what I like to do is I like to kind of put them in a corner. And I don't know if you guys agree, but I like to find out what they're looking for.
Yep.
So you tell me what you're looking for. Now you can't go back and say, oh, no, I really want X, Y, Z, right? So once you tell me what you're looking for, the profit margins you're looking for, are you looking for rentals? Are you looking for Airbnbs? You're looking for flips? What are you looking for? And I find that for you. What's the issue? Like, I need to know, is there an issue if I'm making a whole bunch of money and more than what you would expect? And so you would do that no matter, Charmaine, you would do that no matter if it's local or virtual or whatever.
Yeah, just to add to that, Tommy and Charmaine, you have to qualify your cash buyers, right? How do you qualify them? By asking questions, like you said, whether it's through that form, you have to qualify them. Know if they're legit. Hey, proof of funds letter. How many houses have you bought in the past 12 months? 1 or 15? If you bought 15, okay, I'm gonna take you a lot more seriously. Don't let them put you in the corner like, oh, what do you got? What kind of deals you got for me? No, you qualify them. Hey, I'm an investor. I'm a wholesaler. I need to know you're serious, or I'm not going to present deals.
And guys, when you're, especially when we're new, you kind of have to fake it till you make it, right?
Yep.
You have to fake having that confidence, even if you don't really have it. I tell people all the time, man, I don't need to buy your house. I don't need you to buy my house. I'll just find somebody else. I'll replace you, right? So you got to have that same type of a confidence. You know, you don't have to be mean about it, but you got to have that aura about yourself. Yes, we're going to get to their Instagram and their YouTube and all that stuff. Let me see. Best RVM service in your opinion? Until you asked.
RVM.
Right now we are using REI Rail, and we literally just dropped that campaign Monday.
Yeah, we just started doing ring voice now this week.
Yep. So we'll let you know how that go too on social media. So if it don't go right, that'll be out the window too.
We're confident. We know a lot of investors. Max, a bunch of other guys have had a lot of success with now.
Yeah. So. Do you guys have a realtor or normally use that list or normally use that list property, or do you post all your listings on a main website? And
we do everything off market.
Looking for clients. What's that?
We primarily post our stuff off market. So when we lock it up on the contract, we'll put it on our website, but more importantly, Facebook. Everybody here has a Facebook. Your mother, your father, your grandparents are on Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook. So post it on your Facebook page once you get something locked up. Post it to groups. Every city has a real estate investor Facebook group where you can put your deals on. We get a lot of our deals sold through Facebook.
But you also, that's the beauty of building up your cash buyers list, because a lot of times, our transaction coordinator, she text messages everyone who is in that deal fits their buying criteria. So a lot of our deals get sold just text messaging our cash buyers.
Text blast.
What I will say is be very, very careful for any of you guys who are in hot markets like Charlotte, Boston, New York. Be very careful with posting your deals on Facebook and marketplaces like that.
Posting all the details.
Posting all the details because it is cutthroat.
So don't put the address. Yeah. If you've never dealt with we don't put the address on our deals. We'll put 3-bed, 2-bath. We'll put the numbers, but we won't put the address because anybody can go out there and try to date.
Do you put the general area so they have okay, this is a general area of the city?
General area, and then we'll wait for the inquiries to come in, and then we'll qualify them. We're not going to give all the information if someone's not serious. If they're a tire kicker, they don't need the address.
Gotcha. How many properties did it take from Deal Machine until you made your first deal? That's from Bill.
How many did we have going mailers in Deal Machine? It was about 120, 130 that was going on mailers. One of our biggest deal finders was my mother. She's retired. So if you have any retired family members, parents, those are the best ones. Listen, my mother was out there. And her alone, she probably uploaded 1,000 properties.
Wow.
Yeah, she's retired. Your
mom talk to my mom, because my mom ain't doing nothing. All she wants is her house paid off, and she ain't doing nothing.
Yep, literally. And I mean, ours was about 120 that was on rotation before we got our first deal. But it's crazy because when we got the first one, we got about 4 more that same week.
So hold up, guys, pay attention to this, right? So it wasn't that it's 99 cents per mailer.
Yep.
So she had 120, but it wasn't that it's not like she just spent $120 1 month.
Right.
Like it was in rotation for a couple of months, correct?
3 months.
Yep.
Yeah,
3 months.
Deals. We started mailing out in May 2018. By July, August, we had 4 or 5 properties under contract from mailing the Deal Machine. We had about 150 to 200 mailers going out each month at that point.
So you're talking about probably about $400 that you've invested in mailers at that point. And how much did that first deal make you?
It was like 16 grand.
Yep.
So they invested $400 and made $16,000.
And then right after that one was the $105,000 deal from Deal Machine.
So that paid for Deal Machine for a lifetime.
For a lifetime. So it's a lot of times we'll start something and we'll just won't finish it, right? We'll just start it and just think, it didn't work. You don't know that very next mailer could have been the one that made you that extra money.
Yep.
Let me see what else we got. How do you learn your market? How do you learn your market if you feel it's already saturated? How do you learn your market if you feel it's already saturated? I don't know.
Feel it's already saturated.
I say if it's saturated, which there are certain markets. So I feel Charlotte is saturated. It is just
Atlanta is probably one of those.
It's overrun with investors. So I tell people, so like we have actually one of our top deal finders is out in Charlotte, and one of the properties that we had contracted out there was a $35,000 deal. Assignment fee that was out in Charlotte. It is heavily saturated. So what I tell people is go on the outskirts. If you can, drive on the outskirts of these towns versus going down, what's the city that everybody wants to live in Charlotte, that we've got the deal in? Druid Hills. Versus going in Druid Hills where 1 million people are marketing to every single homeowners, going to these little smaller pocket areas around it, versus these heavily saturated markets. Or you got to filter, if you're pulling lists, filter that list down.
Okay. See? Nice. So Sean said, do you have any deals in South Carolina? If so, how do you find them? And that's because South Carolina, they've done away with list source. And so I don't know if Deal Machine is being affected over there in South Carolina. Do you have any experience with that?
I mean, we've gotten a handful of leads in South Carolina, but we haven't closed any deals, I don't think, in South Carolina.
No, we actually have a business acquaintance who is it Columbia?
Yeah.
Their whole market is
Columbia, South Carolina.
South Carolina, who does heavy
they
volume.
Do 30,000-40,000 a month
there.
And so I know it's possible in South Carolina, but we don't do heavy deals there.
How do you know if you are talking to a real buyer versus someone who is not, but I know the answer you're looking for? You are looking for, yeah.
So cash buyers, again, you got to qualify them. We have a whole questionnaire. It's called reicashbuyer.com. If you go to reicashbuyer.com, you can see the questionnaire they have to fill out. So that's how they even get a phone call back from us. If they don't fill out that questionnaire telling us how many bedrooms you're looking for, how many bathrooms, do you have cash, are you using hard money, do you care if we make a $20,000 assignment fee? If they don't fill that out, we don't even call them because we got too many other qualified cash buyers. So you literally got to make them jump through hoops, not them having you jump through hoops, right? You have the deal. You're the wholesaler. You control the deal. So they have to jump through hoops to qualify to buy from you. That's the mindset you have to have.
You have the product that they want, and that's how we look at it.
You got that crack. If you got a great wholesale deal, it's like crack. They'll come flocking for it.
They don't come flocking to it. What's the best type of list to attack for someone just getting started with less than $1,000? That's a good question there. I
would say either absentee or vacant property. Vacant to us is a gold mine. Literally. And then you gotta, one thing I tell people, you have to know your state, your market. And before I used to think it was real boring to know the demographics of my area. But when I took over our marketing, all of that came full circle. So when people be like, oh, you live in a place that has, 80% Caucasian, white males, females, 70% are educated, or when you pull up the demographics in your area, that's also going to help you with your marketing. So for our area, we live in a smaller town, pocket town, with older individuals who own property, but they're like 70, 80. They don't own one house. They own 70 houses. They own 60 houses. Every property is in their name. So what do you think that does for us? They're like, listen, I'm 84. Right now we have probably about 9 landlords that all own 50 or more properties, and we're buying all of their properties. We're in negotiations to buy all of them. And these are just people who are 70, 80,
tired landlords.
Tired, and it's like, listen, I'm ready to get out.
Let me point something out about that though, guys. Because listen, they got the properties now, right? But that's only because they did the work with that one buyer. So not every buyer is going to have 40, 50, 60, 70 properties.
Right.
But you just don't know which one it is.
Yep.
You can't look at them and say, okay, that house right there. So you just got to get them all, right? Every single one that's vacant, every single one that you're going after.
Yep.
Go ahead and attack those because you don't know if that's the landlord that has 40, 50 properties that they're trying
And you have to ask them when you get that seller on the phone. You call them. Oh yeah, I'm not trying to sell my house. Okay, Mr. Seller, I understand you're not trying to sell 123 Main Street. Do you have any other properties that you're looking to sell? I want the ugly, beat up properties that need work. You know what? Matter of fact, I got one on Washington Street I need to get rid of. Yeah, I'll sell that one. You never know until you ask.
Sherelle says, how long should it take you to get your first deal? Sherelle, let me answer that. As long as it takes.
Yep.
Don't put a time frame on it because you're doing yourself a disservice if you put a time
Don't
frame.
give up. It took us months and months of trial and error. We could have given up. We were so close to giving up so many times.
We were. So
close, and we kept at it. Do not give up. It may seem like, man, I'm never going to close that first deal. Do not give up. Keep going. Keep going. You cannot fail if you don't quit.
I tell everybody else in this world is allowed to give up on you. But you're not allowed to give up on yourself.
That's right.
Right.
Just make sure, don't put a time frame on it. Just keep going. I will be listing. Oh, you're going to be listening to that? Okay, perfect. I put the reicashbuyer.com. They can go in there. Listen, don't go in there and flood their joint up.
Please don't fill it out. I just want y'all to see it. Unless you want to buy a house.
What I will say is education is everything. So literally how we are able to do what we do now and continue to do what we do is because we invest in education. So whatever we don't know, we find the expert in that field and we go to them and we say, hey, we'll pay you for your time. We'll pay you to learn and teach us what it is, whatever it is that we really need to know at that specific time. And just so you guys know a little bit about what our goal is we wholesale, but we wholesale to buy and hold. So for every property that we wholesale, we buy a property. Our end game is apartment buildings, complexes, land development. That's stuff that we're actually getting into now. We are negotiating mobile home parks. We're negotiating 10, 12 acre land for us to start land development. So always have a goal in mind. Like a lot of people say, your why you do what you do and what is going to help you get there. Our job is when people come up to be like, oh, you're just a wholesaler. No, we are investors. Yep. Wholesaling is just one of our strategies. One of our exit strategies. So always keep that in mind. Don't let anyone pigeonhole you into, oh, you're just a wholesaler. Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you own 0 rental properties. Listen, I'm an investor. Like Tommy said, fake it till you make it.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I guess some people said they couldn't hear what I was saying, but someone asked, how do you know or learn your demographic? Where are you getting that information from?
How do you learn your demographic? The demographics, your market.
You can go Google it. Google the demographics in your area. You'll find them. They'll pop up. If you got a specific town, get real specific.
So what are Fulton County demographics?
Yep.
It's going to be statistics from the census. Here's the racial ethnic makeup. Here's the average income. Here's the average household size. It's all on Google if you Google it.
And I've been able to pull what people would call, even our list, like secret lists that I pulled just using the demographics. Like once I looked at them, it blew my mind to the point where Dedrick was like, yo, where are these leads coming from? We got flooded with them. And it's just because I looked at our demographics, I looked at stuff differently and not just through that lens where everybody be like, oh, pull an absentee owners list. Oh, pull a this list. And no, I looked at what was actually in my neighborhood and saw what type of people were in my neighborhood. And then when I pulled these lists, we were past few weeks, it's just been bananas. And that's just because I started to educate myself on my own backyard.
Wow. So you guys are doing I'm going to give you like 2 more, looks like. Can you guys hear me okay? Because they said I was muffled.
Now we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Jalen said, when attacking the vacant and absentee list, should I just stick to wholesaling it or should I try lease option subject to, etc.? It just depends on the situation, right?
Yeah.
Don't just say, okay, absentee list, I'm only going to do wholesaler are only going to do subject to or lease options. Every situation is different. Every value is going to be different. So you can't really put a blanket statement on that. That you guys pretty much agree with that?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Again, not every deal is going to be great for wholesale. You may talk to somebody and their house is worth 100,000 ARV. They're not going to accept 40, 50,000 every time. It's going to be a very small percentage. So you need to have other exit strategies in your back pocket, like subject to, assuming the mortgage and making the payment subject to, like lease option. So like she said, the more you educate yourself and learn these different exit strategies, wholesaling is just one of like 7 exit strategies in real estate. It's just one. Like my wife said, don't let people pigeonhole you. I hear it all the time. I'm on the phone with the seller. Oh, okay, so what do you do? Are you just a wholesaler or what do you do? I correct them. No, I'm not just a wholesaler. I'm an investor. Wholesaling is one strategy we use. We also buy and hold. We also fix and flip. So don't let anyone pigeonhole you as just a wholesaler.
Yeah, very good. Very good. How do you feel about PropStream? Someone asked. Have you used PropStream before?
Never heard of PropStream.
Yeah. I've heard of it, but we hadn't used it.
Okay, cool. So it's almost that time. So I want to give you guys a last couple of minutes. First of all, where can everybody find you at social media wise?
So Instagram, we're really heavy on Instagram. So Be Polite is how you look up our company page. BE Polite, our last name. As far as our personal pages, I'm under Dedrick Polite and Crystal Polite with the K. So
is
Instagram.
Be Polite Properties?
Yeah, Instagram is just, it's Be Polite. It's Be Polite Properties. So Be Polite, last name, properties, at Be Polite Properties.
Facebook is the same.
Facebook is the same. And we're launching a YouTube channel. We got about 30 videos queued up, ready to go. In the next week or so, we're launching a YouTube. It's going to be called, guess what? Be Polite. We got tons of valuable content. All the stuff we've been talking about, we go more in depth on YouTube. We take you to some of our properties. We're out in the field. It's going to be real dynamic. So follow us on YouTube.
It's actually called Being Polite. Because not be polite, but it's called Being Polite. And that's because you'll actually not just see us doing real estate. We actually, as investors, which is kind of different from most people, we use real estate to fund our other deals. We are franchise owners. Our kids, one of our sons, our older son, is actually dropping his own YouTube channel coming up soon. We're actually purchasing a business for him as well in his name as an entrepreneur. So we're heavy in kidpreneur. He's 5 years old.
Wow.
So you'll actually see how we run everything, not just real estate, but
it's like the family hustle.
Right. That's
listen, agree to put too. You helped him eat it all up. He ain't eat it all by himself.
That's what's up. That is what's up. That is awesome, man. That is what we call a power couple right there, man. That's what it's all about right there. So before we head out here, because we're running out, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Can you leave us with a couple of like words of wisdom? Like where we're at right now, where this group is at right now, what are some things that we should get out and do to just take advantage of this knowledge and better ourselves?
I would say drive for dollars. A lot of people, when you start off, don't have a lot of money to invest. I think one of the cheapest ways is driving for dollars. And I think that is because it is, that's the most filtered list you can get. You physically have seen a vacant property.
Yeah.
You're not guessing it's vacant. You're not guessing it's rundown, because we put rundown properties in there too. It's a list that you know firsthand.
The best list.
It's the best list to get.
In your town, the beat up properties in your town.
And we all know we have a million different expenses. And that's one of the biggest things, like Tommy said, is people focus on, well, man, listen, I only got $400. What if I waste it? Da, 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 da. That is a risk. But if you laser focus a driving for dollars list where it's just you, or try to get, when you sign up for Deal Machine, you get a couple deal finders to go with you. Get them out there driving. Get people engaged in what you're doing. And everyone should know what you do.
Wow, there you go.
Everyone you go to, hey, how you doing? Yeah, what you do? I buy houses. Even when I work for corporate America, That's, people ask me what you do. I didn't tell them what I did in my day job yet. I own a real estate investment company. Me and my husband, we buy houses.
Wow.
Let people know who you are and what you do. Fake it till you make it, but when you make it, make sure everyone knows you done made it. And this is what you do.
That is what's up. That is what's up. So, man, you guys are hearing it directly from them, and I'm super, super appreciative of you guys coming out and spending the last hour with us. Thank you so much for dropping all those gems. I know I learned some stuff. The call is recorded. It's going to be on our Facebook group, private Facebook group. I know I'm going to listen to this call again, so I definitely appreciate your time and your energy as well.
Thank you. We've enjoyed being on. We really appreciate it too.
And what I'll do, Tommy, is I'm going to send you our, for anyone who don't have Deal Machine, I'll email you the link, our Deal Machine link. So when you sign up, you'll actually get 30 free mailers. If you sign up under the link that we send you, you'll get your first 30 free mailers for free.
That's right.
It keeps giving.
In the comments.
Oh, he'll post it here in the comments.
Okay, I'll leave it open here for a little bit. There we go. So I'll leave this open here, but I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much once again. Whenever you guys drop the book, let me know. I'm just gonna let you guys know, everybody that's on the call, I'm gonna spam you with the book. So when they get the book, they send it to me. I'm gonna send the link out to your emails. You're gonna hear about it. You can choose to get it. I would highly suggest you get it, because obviously if you just saw this little, I mean, they only spoke for about 40 minutes, and I don't know how many just jewels they dropped on you guys. So I can imagine when they get that book comes out, it's gonna be fire. So once again, we definitely appreciate you guys, and man, we love you guys, and that's it for this week. Take care. See y'all later.
All right, fam. Peace.
Peace.